All right, Jordan, you come from a family of hoopers, so I take it the first name Jordan comes from the great one, or am I completely off?
I would say people always say that, but I would say you're completely off. I think my parents just liked the name Jordan, and I think it just ended up fitting very well.
Man, you had an amazing career at UC Riverside, taking your talents to the Kansas Jayhawks. Was it
Yes,
a
sir.
process to you finding Kansas, or did you kind of lock in on them early and it just so happened worked out?
It was definitely a process. So leaving Riverside was one of the hardest decisions I've made in my life, for sure. I love the coaches. I love the players. Obviously, I was in Cali, right an hour outside of LA, and so I just loved my experience there. I think the coaches there took a chance on me. Obviously, coming in as a freshman, played a lot of minutes as a freshman, did well throughout my career there, and so to leave was a very tough decision. But it honestly came down to I sat down with one of my coaches, and I was like, look, sat down with my head coach, actually, and I was like, y'all don't have my master's program that I want. And so that's what really ended up pushing me away. And they were very supportive. They helped me through the whole process. I still talk to all of them literally every day. And so definitely was a tough decision, but then got into the portal, got a bunch of hits from all over the place. And so I had to then decide, like, okay, what am I trying to do? What am I looking for to narrow down the list? And then I took 3 visits. I took one to SMU, took one to Kansas, and took one to Notre Dame. And so Kansas just felt like the best fit for me culture-wise. I love the coaches. Obviously, it's a big basketball school, and so I just thought it would be a great way to end my career, and that's how I ended up picking Kansas.
No, you talk about the impact of the coaches at UC Riverside. What was the impact of Coach Schneider in helping that decision move forward?
I think just upfront from my very first phone call, I could tell he had did his research. I could tell he watched a lot of film on me as a player and knew that I would really be an asset to them. He stressed to me how I wasn't a want for them, but a need. And so I think that was very important for me just going. I only have 1 year left, and so I didn't want to just be a body anywhere because I know my capabilities, and so I knew that I wanted to go somewhere that really felt like I was a need and could really help them from day one, coming in as a veteran player. And that's what he stressed to me, and it was just very real from the first phone call. And so I'm big on trust and, being real. I don't want no one to tell me what they think I want to hear, but just be honest. And I felt like that's what I got from him.
Definitely, definitely. Whenever you had an entire career at one school and you moving over to another, what were you looking for? Or how long did it take the chemistry to kind of kick in when you got over there with the girls at Kansas and you guys started practicing together? Or is it still something that's ongoing?
I would say, chemistry is forever ongoing, something I would say, but I think even way back to my visit, I think the bond between me and the girls that were returning was very strong. It actually happened. So one of the players, Yvette Mayberry, my dad actually played with her dad overseas
Oh, wow.
20 probably years ago. And so as soon as I got there, he had called her dad and they talked and they were like, look, this is a great place. I'm telling you, from a coaching standpoint, from a school standpoint, and it really is a great place to be. And he wouldn't, just BS my dad. So that was also big, just to know that I, know someone from the past who's there. And then, obviously, I would say chemistry between us is still growing, but I think it's very strong. I think we're definitely headed in the right direction as a team.
And Jordan, your abilities on the court speak for itself. Amazing scorer, great defender. What do you feel you bring to the table in terms of the intangibles, your leadership, and things like that that maybe the naked eye couldn't see that you bring to this Kansas team?
Yeah, for sure. I think just coming in as a fifth-year senior, I'm one of the oldest girls on the team, being 22 years old, and I think I just bring that leadership, that selflessness, that want to all do whatever it takes to help the team succeed. we're a pretty young team overall. A lot of sophomores. We have some juniors. And so just helping them, because what they're going through, I've pretty much been through.
Mm-hmm.
And so just being that person that they could always come to, like, hey, this is going on, or coach told me this, like, I don't like what he said with this. I could just be that person who's like, look, you know, they want the best for you, keep grinding. And even for players who, like, feel like I'm doing everything I can, but as a player, sometimes you don't see the outside things. You don't see what the coaches are seeing. But I think I've seen it all, especially coming from a basketball family. Obviously, my dad played, he coaches, so I was born into it. And so just being that leader for them, that person they could really lean on through the highs and the lows.
Jordan, is there a balance you have to find as a transfer in standing out as opposed to fitting in and not just being another face in the crowd? Or do you feel like as a hoopster, you just pick that up, that's almost a natural progression for you?
Yeah, honestly, I would say it's been pretty natural for me. Just because basketball is all I know. I came from it. My dad preached from a very young age, just, you know, how to play the right way, how to do the right thing, make the right play. And so I feel like it's been a pretty seamless transition for me.
Do you feel like you have to adapt your game from Big West to Big 12, or do you feel like the Big 12 have to adapt the way they guard people and, you know, lazy passes and things like that? You're known for your defense and your steals and things. Or is that something that's just, again, it's just part of the game and there's no adaptation needed because you're made for this?
I would say I'm definitely made for this. I think, obviously, the Big 12 is a very good conference, known for their guard play, but I think if you can hoop, you can hoop. And I think basketball translates. And that's basically all I would stress on that.
We're seeing a major uptick in these great basketball players coming from Texas, that Dallas area. Is that just because the competition is literally, the pool is right there? Or do you think it's something that's been overlooked and finally light's getting shined on it?
I think people have always known, you know, Texas is a hoop state, but I think it's starting to come more to light as of late, and people are really starting to really see that.
For anyone who haven't watched Jordan Webster play, what can we expect when we see you step on that court this year?
I think a very versatile player, a player who can score at all three levels, will make the right play, solid defensively, and just someone who will do whatever it takes to get the W.
They came up just short of the Sweet 16 last year, obviously with the loss to USC. What do you feel like this team needs to do to kind of get over that hump and get over what set them back last year?
Yeah, I think it's just the buy-in from everybody collectively as a team, and I think we're really starting to see that right now. I think we have a bunch of shooters, and so I think it's just going to be very hard to guard us this year.
I always like
I think with us,
go ahead.
With us getting over that hump, it's just the consistency of every day showing up to work, and over time, consistency will take over.
Jordan, I always like to end with a fun question. So obviously your father Jeff's an amazing basketball player. Your brother Justin's an amazing basketball player. You are an amazing basketball player. If you guys play a game of horse, who wins?
Oh, I'm winning for sure.
You're saying you're the shooter and the creative one in the family.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. I love to hear. Well, Jordan, I'm keeping eyes on you this year. Best of luck in Kansas. And I hope this is the first of many interviews. Anything before I let you go?
No, I just appreciate you for taking the time to do this with me. And thank you. I'll look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely.